Hey boys and girls, I hope you're having a great day. Today for our HPE lesson, we're going to be consolidating some learning and looking at some topics we've already learned about. So one thing we're going to look at is how to keep ourselves healthy, especially when we're not at school. So like right now when we're in lockdown, how can we keep ourselves healthy? Now, our learning intended for today, what we're actually learning, is to discover new ways we can keep ourselves and our families healthy. Now, throughout this slideshow and video, I will say ourselves or us, but by that, I mean us and our family, not just us as people. A success criteria, or how you know you're successful today, is if you can practice some new strategies to keep yourself healthy while at home. Remember, a lot of the strategies we talked about at school are ways to keep ourselves healthy at school. So we're going to have to use our brains today to think about different ways to keep ourselves healthy while we are at home doing home learning. Now, there are three types of health we're going to talk about today. The first one is physical health. What can we do to take care of our physical health? Remember, our physical health is how our bodies move and how our bodies feel. So, we do one thing when we're in the hall to take care of our physical health before we play games. What is that thing we do? Mr. Lynch normally sits on the stage and everyone sits in front of the stage, and then we do different movements, nice and slow. Oh, that's right. Do you know what it's called? That's right, it's called stretching. Stretching is one thing we do for our physical health. I want you to come up with 3 more things you can do for your physical health. Remember, we're talking about things you can do at home. So if you don't have a playground at home, you shouldn't say climbing on a playground. At school, climbing on a playground is a good way to take care of your health. But at home, if you don't have a playground, that's probably not a good way to do it. You can pause the video now and come up with those 3 ways. All right, boys and girls, it's so good to have you back. Let's see the 3 ways that Mr. Lynch came up with to take care of our physical health. I said move your body more. And we've practiced lots of different movements in PE. We've practiced jumping, we've practiced running, we've practiced crawling, we've practiced lots of different movements. You can move your body. If you're moving your body, you're taking care of your physical health. If you're sitting on the couch or laying down in bed, you're not taking as good a care of your physical health. Now, we still need to sit on the couch and lay in bed sometimes, but it shouldn't take your whole day. Your whole day shouldn't be sitting on the couch. That's not taking care of your physical health. You could run around the backyard if you're lucky enough to have a backyard. Now, I don't have a backyard, so that's not one that I can do. But if you have a backyard, you can go and run around the backyard. Practice how long it takes to run from one side to the other. Maybe race the dog or cat around the backyard. Maybe just run around in circles and burn some energy. Finally, you can practice your movement skills. Now, we're really lucky right now because the Olympics are on, something that only happens once every 2 years. And we're even more lucky because it's the Summer Olympics, which only happens every 4 years. Now, another way you can take care of your physical health, if you're watching the Olympics, try and copy the moves you see them doing. For example, earlier I was watching the kayaking on the Olympics, and in kayaking, they move their arms like this to paddle the boat. Now, instead of just sitting on the couch and watching, or sitting on the ground and watching, you could sit there and practice the movements they're doing. Or if you're watching the basketball, practice and pretend you have a basketball and move your body the way they do. That's another way you can practice your movement skills. All right, boys and girls, let's move on to our emotional health. Now, remember, emotional health is how you feel. Right now, think about it. What face do you feel? I think I'm feeling a 4. I'm a little bit lonely because I'm at home, but generally I'm happy, I'm in good spirits, and I'm excited that I get to make fun videos for you. Now, what can you do to take care of our emotional health and also our family's emotional health? I want you to come up with 3 ideas and maybe think about something we do at the start of PE. At the start of every PE lesson, we get in a circle, we do some breathing, and then we do something. What do we do? Oh, that's right. We do a check-in. And we take note of how we're feeling. We actually think about how we're feeling and what makes us feel that way. We decide what face we feel like and why. That's one way you can take care of your emotional health. Now, I want you to come up with 3 more ways you can take care of yours or your family's emotional health. You can go ahead and pause the video now and come back once you come up with 3 ways. I'm so glad you're back. Why don't I show you the 3 ways I came up with? The first way was tell someone how you're feeling and ask them how they feel. So don't just say, I feel sad. Ask them how they're feeling and why. Remember, it's always important to try and figure out why we feel a certain way, not just to look at how we feel. Number 2 is to sit in the sun and meditate. Now, vitamin D is very, very good for you. Vitamin D is something you get from sunlight. It's really good to sit in the sun and meditate. Just sit there and take some deep breaths. You can even do some rocking back and forth like we do in PE and some rocking forwards and backwards. But sit in the sun, take those deep breaths, and that usually helps you feel better. Finally, find things to smile and laugh at. Last year we were in lockdown for a long time and it got really tough for a lot of people. But the people who did really good in lockdown and didn't struggle were the people who found things to laugh at and to smile at every day. Finally, let's look at healthy eating. Now, I know most of you boys and girls don't go grocery shopping and don't make dinner. And that's okay. But what you say to mom and dad, or gran and grandpa, or nan and pop, or whoever, might influence the things they cook or the things they buy. So I want you to come up with 3 ideas for things you can do at home that could help your healthy eating. One I've come up with right now is drink lots of water. Water is very good for you. It's the best thing for you can drink. The more water you drink, the better. Drinking lots and lots and lots of water is really great. That's one way you can take care of your eating health. I want you to come up with 3 more ways you can take care of your eating health. You can pause the video now while you come up with them. All right, I hope you've come up with the 3 ways. Let's see what Mr. Lynch came up with. Eat more fruits and veggies, and that's a great way. Eating more fruits and veggies, and more importantly, adding fruits and veggies into every time you eat is a great way to make sure you're healthy eating. When you add a piece of fruit or vegetables into every meal, it gives you lots of fiber, which helps your body digest that food and get lots of nutrients from it. The second thing I had was eating less and moving more. Now, if you're in prep, your body's growing big and strong, so you need to eat lots of food. But if you're not moving around as much, you're not burning that food. Remember, food is energy, and the healthy food is good energy. When we eat food, if we don't burn that energy, if we don't run around the playground or move around and burn that energy, that's usually not so good for us. So if you're not moving as much, if you're stuck sitting on the couch a lot or you don't have spaces to move and run around, maybe don't eat quite as much as normal. Last up, picking healthy snacks. I know I love to snack between meals. In fact, I just had a snack. Picking a healthy snack is always a better option than picking a non-healthy snack. I was really craving something salty, and when I opened the pantry, there was a packet of crisps, packet of chips, or there were some nuts. Which do you think Mr. Lynch chose? If you picked nuts, you were absolutely correct. I really wanted something salty, and I had some nuts because that gave me that salt I was craving, but it was still a healthy snack. Boys and girls, that's it for this lesson. I hope you've come up with some new ways that you can stay healthy and you can keep your family healthy while you're stuck at home. If you need to get a hold of me, you can send me an email at slync73@eq.edu.au. And I'll see you next time for another lesson.